Alright, welcome back to a brand new video. In this video, I'm going to teach you all how to set up rate limiting for your NestJS application. So first of all, what exactly is rate limiting? Well, rate limiting is basically just a way for you to limit a number of requests being sent from a specific user. So let's say, for example, you have some users that are logged into your application, and maybe what they'll do is they'll probably send a bunch of requests by spamming your API as much as they can, just to throttle the network traffic, just to slow down the application and cause a poor experience for other users. So what they might do is they might send maybe 20 requests every second or so, right? And what rate limiting does is it prevents them from being able to send that many requests every certain amount of seconds or every certain amount of minutes, depending on how you want to configure it. So for example, let's say if we are building a chat application, right? And a chat application, you don't want a user to send like 5 or 6 messages within a 3-second time frame, because if they're doing that, likely they are spamming. So what you can do is you can set up a rate limit on your server to prevent the user from making so many requests within a certain amount of time frame. So it's basically just a way to put a cap on how often a user can send requests over and over again within a certain specific amount of seconds, or it could also be minutes as well. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. And the reason why you should rate limit your API, especially when you deploy it to the public, is because if you don't, people can definitely spam it and abuse it, and they can definitely do a lot of bad stuff, and also even take down your server if they really want to. So that's why rate limiting is a very important thing that you should do in your application. So luckily for us, NestJS does have a package that we can install and set up, and we can just set up rate limiting very easily. So I'll show you how we can get started with that. So the first thing that we'll do is we'll install this package called it's going to be called @nestjs/throttler, just like that. Okay, and we'll go ahead and hit enter. And also, if you want to read more about how rate limiting works in NestJS, I'll link the documentation in the description, so you can read all about the different techniques that you can use rate limiting for. So it doesn't only work with just HTTP requests, you can get it to work with WebSockets, GraphQL, and a bunch of other things. So just figured I'd mention that. So let's go ahead and run our application. So I'll do yarn start :dev. Okay, and of course, if you're using npm, you would use npm to install the package as well as run your application. Okay, so our application's up and running, and I already have a simple NestJS app. This is literally just the project scaffold that I generated with the Nest CLI. So I did not do anything to this application. As you can see, it just has the default app controller, the app service, and the main.ts file has not been modified. So I have not done anything with this project. Okay, so the first thing to do to set up rate limiting is to go inside your app.module.ts. Okay, and what we'll do is we'll go ahead and import the Throttler module. So I'll go into my imports inside this array, and I'll type Throttler module, and I'm just going to go ahead and hit enter, and VS Code will all import that for me. You can just import it yourself manually if you need to. And I'll go ahead and call for root, and we'll pass in the Throttler module options object. And so we're going to pass in two properties. We're going to pass in TTL. So TTL stands for time to live, and that's basically the amount of time that the rate limit will basically expire. So I'll explain a little bit more about that, what that means in a second. So for time to live, let's say for example, if I want the user to only be able to send X amount of requests within 30 seconds, I will set TTL to 30 for 30 seconds. Okay, so the number is represented in seconds, not milliseconds or minutes, it's seconds. So 30 is 30 seconds. The second parameter is going to be a limit of, and this is just the limit, which is basically how many requests that the user is allowed to send within the TTL. So for example, if I only want the user to send 2 messages every 30 seconds, okay, then I'll set a limit of 2 and a TTL of 30. Okay, so what this means is the user can only send 2 messages every 30 seconds. So as soon as the user sends their first message, right, it'll start counting down of when the rate limit will expire. So after 30 seconds, the rate limit will expire. If they send another message, right, it'll restart again. That's basically what this TTL is for. Okay, of course, if you send another message, you'll be able to, because the limit is 2. But if you send a third message, the TTL is still obviously going to be there within 30 seconds. Well, that's assuming that if you send it within 30 seconds, right? If you send it within that 30-second time frame, it will give you an error, an HTTP exception, okay? And that's pretty much how these two properties work. Okay, we'll lower the TTL just so that we can test it a lot easier. But before we do anything else, we do need to make sure that we actually provide the throttler guard in our application. So we can actually make our entire application guarded with rate limit by just simply providing it globally. And what we can do is we can just do this. So inside our providers, inside our app module, I'll go ahead and pass in an object, and I'll do provide app guard like that. And we'll do use class, and we're going to go ahead and import the throttler guard. So that's this class over here. It comes from the NestJS Throttler package. Though VS Code doesn't want to auto import that for me, so I'll just import that manually up top here, like that. Okay, there we go. And now we have our throttler guard set up for our entire application. So if you look at our logs, we should see that our throttler module dependencies initialized, which is good. All right, so let's go ahead and test this out. But first, let me just change the TTL. I'll do 10 seconds, and we'll limit it to 2. Okay, so to test this out, we'll go into Postman, or you can go into your favorite HTTP client. I'll just use Postman, and I'll make a GET request to localhost port 3000. Okay, so right now we don't have a rate limit because we have not made a single request. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 2 requests to port localhost or port 3000, just the base route, because this is just going to return this GET request or this response get hello. Okay, so watch this. If I click send, okay, it's going to say hello world. So now if I click send another time, it's still going to work. Okay, if I click send one more time, it's going to go ahead and say status code 429, too many requests, and obviously that's the rate limiter that's taking care of that. Now, if we wait a couple seconds later, we should be able to send hello world. Now, if we count about 6 seconds, so 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the rate limit should disappear about right now. So if we count again, so 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So now the rate limit should disappear. Okay, and if I count another 8 seconds, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So about right now, it should work. Okay, so that's basically how it's working, right? So the moment we send our first message or our first request to the server, it will basically start the rate limit. Okay, and it'll basically keep track of the requests that we're making and the TTL. Okay, the TTL is basically how many requests we can make within that time frame. Okay, so we can only make 2 within 10 seconds. So once we exceed 2 requests, if we make a third request within that 10-second time frame, then it's going to go ahead and give us this error back. Okay, so if I make 2, so if I count like about 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's click send. And there you go, the rate limit is gone, and it's basically just gonna keep recounting it every single time you make your first request, if that makes sense. Okay, and of course you can always change this up however you want, but I figured this would just be a very simple example of how the rate limit works. Okay, typically what you could do is you can make it so that you can make the TTL maybe like 60, and then you can make the limit something like 10, for example. That's a common, those are like common factors that people use for their application. But you can obviously choose whatever you want, and this will set it globally for every single endpoint. So right now we only have one endpoint, and it'll just set this rate limit for every single endpoint. So every single endpoint, they can only make 10 requests every 60 seconds. Okay, let me do 10, and let me just change this back to 3. Or I'll do 3. Okay, so let's say, for example, right now we have this rate limit set for every single endpoint, but we can also do this. We can also override the current configuration for the rate limit in specific endpoints that we might define. So let's just go inside our app controller, and let's just go ahead and create a couple more routes. So let's do a GET request, and let's just do something like users. Right? Let's just do get users, and we'll just do return empty array. It doesn't really matter, okay? And so this get users endpoint will also have the same rate limit. So every 10 seconds, you can only send 3 requests within those 10 seconds. I shouldn't say every 10 seconds. I should say you can only send 3 requests within those 10-second time frame. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a request to users. So let's do, that's 1, 2, 3, and then it's going to say the error. And if I wait about maybe 4 more seconds, so 3, 2, 1, there we go, it works. If I spam it again, that was a bit weird, but let's just wait a little bit. Let's just wait a little bit. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we have this, and if I go ahead and click send, and if I click send again, so that was 3 requests, so this is the 4th one, it's going to go ahead and give me this error. So that's good. So what if I wanted to make it so that maybe I don't want the base URL, maybe I don't want get hello to be rate limited, but I only want users to be rate limited. So how do I make it so that we don't have certain endpoints being rate limited even though we are setting it globally? So what we can do is we can make it so that this get hello endpoint, so this slash endpoint, the base endpoint I should call it, we can make it so that it does not need to worry about rate limiting. So we can just use the skip throttle decorator, and basically this decorator will just pretty much disable rate limiting. So if I go ahead and I do need to import this, so let's do quick fix, add import from NestJS/Throttler, and I'm going to save. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll just go into not VS Code, I'll go into Postman, and so the rate limit should work on user, so 1, 2, 3, and the 4th request will basically give you the error. But if I go to slash, it'll go ahead and just give me the same response no matter how many times I request that endpoint. It'll go ahead and just give me that same response over and over again because we're using the skip throttle decorator. And I can do the same thing with the user's endpoint as well. So let's go ahead and call the user's endpoint. So let's do send. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm sending a bunch of requests within the 10-second TTL, and it's still just going to override the rate limit. It's going to disable the rate limit, basically. So that's pretty helpful. Now, another thing that you can do is you can also make it so that the skip throttle can skip the entire controller. So I can just use a skip throttle on top of the controller right over here, and that will basically just disable rate limiting for the entire controller. So watch this. If I do 1, 2, 3, 4, that will basically not do anything. Same thing with this base route as well. It's not going to do anything, so this will just skip the entire the global rate limit that we have already configured. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Now, what if you wanted to change the configuration? So right now we have the global rate limit set to every 10 seconds you can send three requests, right? But what if we want certain endpoints to have a different rate limit, right? Maybe we have an endpoint that might not have much expensive computation, right? So maybe we might want the user to have like we still want a rate limit, but we want to kind of like make it so that they can make more requests instead of just limiting them to the global rate limit. So how do we do that? Well, what we can do is we can make it so that we can just change the amount of requests that they can make, and we can also change the amount of time that they need to make those requests within. So what we could do is we can actually use the throttle decorator. So I'll show you how that works. So let's create another endpoint. Let's do get users posts. Do get users posts. Now I'll just return an object. It doesn't really matter. Oh, this should be at. Okay, I'll just return an object, and what I'll do is I'll go over here and use the @throttle decorator, and let me just make sure that's imported up top over here. Should be imported right here. And then what you can do is you can pass in the limit. Okay, so that's the number of messages that can be sent. Okay, so let's do 5. So we'll increase it by 2, and for the TTL, we'll change it to 15. So that means you can send a max of 5 requests to this users/post endpoint within a 15-second time frame. So we'll test that out. So let's go ahead and test out every single endpoint. So we'll do this. We'll go ahead and skip throttle for the base route. Okay, and we'll allow the get users route to have the rate limiting happening globally, right? It'll be using the global rate limit, and then we'll go ahead and set our own rate limit for the users/post route. So let's go over here. So let's first spam slash the base route, and we can see that nothing's happening. Now, if I go ahead and if I try to go to slash users, okay, if I send more than 3 requests within 10 seconds, it's going to rate limit me. And if I try to go to users/posts, let's start this. Let's send 5 requests. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 6 requests. On the 6th one, it will give us that error. So let's count about 10 more seconds. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So there we go. That's 15 seconds later. So we can still send requests now, and then at the sixth one, it will basically give us that error. So that's how you can set a specific rate limit for specific endpoints, which is really cool. So that's going to be pretty much it for this whole rate limiting NestJS tutorial. Hopefully you all enjoyed this, and I'll also leave a link in the description to the code, so that way you guys can use it as a reference. So thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all in my next episode. Peace out.